ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome everybody to the Wednesday night Gita class. So we'll have a short Kirtan, Jai Radha Madhava. So it'll be a call and response. I'll say one line and you can join me. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. We'll need some microphones for the audience, Prabhuji. Jaya Gopi Jan Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jan Vallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Jan Vallabha Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jai Radha Madhava कुंज विहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा
कुंज विहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तेरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
जय राध माधवा कुंज विहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So welcome everybody one more time to those who are in the room as well as those who are watching us online. So today is Wednesday and we have the Wednesday evening Bhagavad Gita class. So before I go into the class, I have a question for the audience. So why are we here in the temple today? Any thoughts on that? Any answers to that? You just felt that you should be here. That's a very good thought. That's a very good consciousness, actually. Anybody else would like to share? We are broadcasting this, so anything that you need to say needs to go on a microphone. Otherwise, people online won't be able to listen. They'll miss out and they will guess. So the suspense will be gone. What happened to the microphones? Okay, yeah. Keep a microphone with you.
Thank you. Learn about the concepts in Bhagavad Gita class from experienced people.
All right, you have come here to learn Bhagavad Gita class from people. I've dropped the experience part of it because I don't think that I am that. And okay, any other things? Anything special about today?
I'm here to experience a different sense of self.
So a different sense of self here? Very good, very good. Okay. Anything else special about today? I can hear you nodding your head. Do you need a microphone? Okay, please pass it back to the gentleman in the back.
First, thank you so much for the internet presence. That's how I first found about.
Oh, awesome! So the thanks should go to those in the broadcast
room. That's real valuable. Thank you so much,
today.
Prabhu. Yeah. And so finally, I figured, well, I wasn't that far. I was over in Gilroy, and let's see it in person. Thank you very much.
Wow, awesome. Very good. So very nice reasons to be here. And I just wanted to add one more on top of it, that today actually is the festival of Diwali. It's the holy festival of Diwali. And so everybody in the class knows what is Diwali? Okay. So I'll spend a little bit of time, explaining what Diwali is. So it's a very, very famous and a very well-loved festival in India. And of course, it's now celebrated here as well in different parts of the world. And so the story of Diwali, or the origin of Diwali, actually goes back to the millennium, which is known as the Treta Yuga. So we have 4 millenniums. We have Satyuga, we have Treta, we have Dwapar, and then we have the current millennium in which we are living, which is the Kali Yuga. So this story goes back to and happens, or this pastimes of the Lord happens in the Treta Yuga, where we have a king called Dashrath. He's a very powerful and a noble king, and he has 3 wives: Kaushalya, Kekai, and Sumitra. And so Ram, or who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, takes birth, or so-called takes birth, in the womb of Kaushalya. So she's the main queen. And then he has 3 more brothers. He has Lakshman, and he has Bharat, and he has Shatrughna. So Bharat is born to one of the favorite queens of King Dashrath. Her name is Kekai. And so Ramchandra, because he's Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he was very much well loved by the citizens as well as the family members and anybody who came in touch with him. So everybody wanted Ram to succeed his father in being the king of Ayodhya. And King Dashrath was also getting old, so he decided that he will coronate Ram the next day. So he announces that in his assembly that he's going to coronate Ram as the king of Ayodhya, the city, and the kingdom of Ayodhya. And that would happen the next day. So there was a lot of rejoicing, and people were very happy about that. Now, when you are the king, or actually when you are the mother of the king, then you enjoy a lot of opulence and a lot of respect and a lot of clout. And so obviously with the coronation of Ram, it was assumed that Kaushalya, his mother, will have a little bit more power than the rest of the other queens. And Kekai, who was, very beautiful, very young, and the favorite queen of Dashrath, had a son called Bharat. And she also had a maidservant, and she was pretty crooked, and she was hunched back. Her name was Manthara. And she knew that because she was a hunchback, she used to be the butt of jokes of other maidservants in the palace. And then slowly, as the queen became powerful, her queen or her mistress became powerful and became a favorite of the king, so people started giving more respect to her as well, and then stopped teasing her and calling her a hunchback. So when she gets the news that Ram is going to become the king, then she knew that her mistress would not have that much of respect, or at least she thought it that way. And then she thought that, oh my goodness, then all these people, all these maidservants who were, staying back from passing snide comments of me will start it all over again. So she didn't want to lose her position. So she went to KK and she said that, you know what, there is something going on in your husband's mind. You are the favorite queen, yet why is he putting the other queen's son on the throne? And why is he doing that while your son is away? Because he wanted to do it while he's away. So at first KK, who used to love Ramchandra actually more than her own son Bharat. But she gets convinced slowly and slowly and slowly. So Manthara, starts reasoning and explanations, and so over a period of a couple of hours, she's able to convince, and then she reminds her that what, a long time ago when King Dashrath was fighting a war, his chariot was broken, and you were with him in the war, and you had helped saved his life. And at that time, he had said that I'm going to give you 2 boons, and so ask whatever you want. And KK at that time said that I will ask them later, my lord. I don't want the boons right now. So then Mantra reminded her and she said, you know what? This is the time to ask for your boons. So the first boon you can ask that your son should be, put on the throne. He should be coronated as the king. And as part of the second boon, you can ask Ram to be banished to the forest so that there is no second thoughts about him ever being acceding to the throne. So then KK does the needful, and then King Dashrath is appalled, and he had not expected something like that is going to happen. So, but nonetheless, because in those days, if people gave a word and made a commitment, they kept the commitment. So he was bound by his words, and he said that, okay, that's what we're going to do. And so Bharat was, called from his, he had gone to his maternal grandmother's place. So he is called back from there. And when he comes back, he's also very unhappy. But even before he comes back, Ramchandra has to go on an exile. So he is exiled and banished from the kingdom of Ayodhya for 14 years. And so when he goes, his wife Sita also goes with him. And then his other brother, Lakshman, also decides to follow them because he wants to take care of Lord Ramchandra. So they all go into the exile. And then to cut a long story short, when Bharat comes back, he doesn't like it at all. He's actually angry at his mom. And then Dashrath, missing his son Ram, gives up his life. And all the citizens of Ayodhya, they miss Ram so much because he's gone. So they plunge into gloom, and gloom is always characterized by darkness. So there's darkness all over Ayodhya. Everybody is very unhappy. Bharat is ruling the kingdom, but in his heart, he's also unhappy. He's missing his brother Ram. And then after 14 years, and during the 14 years, there's a lot that happens, and you can read the Ramayana to know about that. But in the context of what we're going to talk about in this class, when he comes back to Ayodhya, the citizens of Ayodhya are very, very happy. And in his, to welcome him, they light up the whole of Ayodhya with lamps. And the whole Ayodhya looks very beautiful. And they bring him back, they shower him with flowers, they give him a royal welcome. And then he is put on the throne. And then, he rules for the rest of his days there. So that is the origin of Diwali. And so we kind of celebrate it. Since then, it's celebrated in India as well. And people do some of the things that were done by the people in Ayodhya. So the question here is that, we have Diwali, which was celebrated by the people in Ayodhya many, many millions of years ago. And so now the question is that, I am here in Kali Yuga, what do I have to do with Diwali as such? What is there in it for me? Why should I be celebrating the Diwali? How should I be celebrating the Diwali? Okay. So let's see, how do we do it now? Or in general, maybe not us, but in general, how Diwali is celebrated. So what do you think you guys do on Diwali? Give it to me on a microphone. You do something, Anshu?
Crackers.
What do you do with crackers?
we burn crackers.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that crackers is not those crackers that you eat, but these are the crackers that make a lot of noise. These are like you have on 4th of July here in USA. So we're talking about those kind of crackers. Okay, so crackers. Yeah, boys will always remember crackers. I used to be scared of them. What else do you do on Diwali?
make food and distribute to others and
Make
share and
food,
eat.
distribute to others and eat. Very good. Prasadam, very good. You have something to add, Mataji? Yeah? Yeah.
Dance.
You dance and you have
Sing.
And what did you say first?
Well, I think it's the main thing, lights.
Lights, yeah. It's a festival of lights. It's the most important thing. Yeah. It's called Festival of Lights. So yeah, so we have lights. What else have you seen people do on Diwali? They pray to God. Very good. Okay. So typical Diwali celebrations that we have will include their preparations start even before the Diwali. When you start cleaning up the house, people whitewash their houses, right? Then they light lamps on the day of the Diwali. They dress up for the occasion. They exchange gifts, as you had mentioned. Then they burst crackers, which was tops. They eat a lot. Some of them gamble, especially on Diwali day. And then at midnight, they worship Goddess Lakshmi, right? So we're going to look and see that we are here now. And we see what people do in general on Diwali. And we've seen the origin of Diwali, like how it originated and what was the reason people were lighting up Ayodhya, right? Because they were very happy that Lord Ramchandra, who is nothing but an incarnation of Lord Krishna, is back in Ayodhya. So they were welcoming and they were rejoicing his return to Ayodhya. Okay? So we will see how some of these things that we do tie to the origin of Diwali. And also we will see how we might need to adjust the tie just a little bit to make sure that we are doing the right thing the right way. And I can see you adjusting your scarf. Very good. See, already there. So, first thing that people do is that they clean the house. Right? So they clean the house to make sure that it is nice, because if you're going to invite somebody into your house, then you better prepare your house and make it neat and clean. So typically, who are people inviting on a Diwali day into their home? Who you invite?
Devotees?
Devotees,
Family,
friends, yeah.
family.
Yeah, be general, all people, any types of people, all types of people who celebrate Diwali. Who else do you invite in your home? You have friends, you have family, relatives, devotees. And you're also trying to invite Goddess Lakshmi into your home, right? Yeah, be bold, confess. So you go and do that, right? So we clean the house. And then, let's see. So obviously the people in Ayodhya had cleaned the whole city. You know, they had decorated the city. Everything was spick and span. It was, nice decorations, flowers and fruits and everything, water sprinkled, central watered and things like that. So that is how they had done the cleaning. Now, if we are to do the cleaning, we clean the house. Yeah, we all know that everybody cleans the house. But what is our Ayodhya? What is our Ayodhya? Is it our 5-bedroom house in San Ramon? Is that our Ayodhya, or 3-bedroom house in Burlingame, $4 million? What is our Ayodhya? That's a question we have to ask, right? What is our Ayodhya? Is it Ayodhya back there in India? Is that what it is? Okay. So your heart is actually your Ayodhya. And if we have to clean, then we have to clean our heart in preparation for Diwali. Okay? So, if we go back to the origin of Diwali, we know that Ramchandra was exiled and he was banished from Ayodhya. So what does the word exile actually mean? So exile, whichever way you want to pronounce it, it's actually a noun. And it says that, expulsion from one's native land by any authoritative decree. Right? So the King Dashrath was an authoritative decree. He was influenced by his wife and he went and was forced to expel Ramchandra from Ayodhya. So expulsion from one's native land, and I want you to focus on the key word native. Right? So where you're living and you are banished from there, so that is what exile really is, where you have been living there. Okay? So if our heart is at Ayodhya and then Ramchandraji was banished from Ayodhya, then we have to first see what is there in our heart, right? Does Ramchandra live in our heart, or have we exiled him from our heart? Okay, and what else is there in our heart, right? So, what do you think is in your heart? What does our heart contain? I mean, I know, when I grew up, I knew it had 4 compartments: the left ventricle, the right ventricle, the left auricle, the right auricle. There was aorta, there was pulmonary artery, there were veins and things like that. There is the super soul, very good. There's a super soul in the heart. And he is a form of Vishnu, a form of Krishna, right? So we do have Krishna or Rama in our heart. So we cannot banish him from our heart. We might say that we have exiled Ram, but you cannot, it is not possible for you to banish him. He's kind of like the mom that follows the child everywhere. You can't get rid of her. So what happens, and when we say that if you have removed Ram from your heart, what does exactly mean? What does that mean? Right? That I have removed, because you cannot remove the super soul from your heart. By the way, your heart also has the soul. It also has the mind in it. And there's a super soul. And there are other things as well in our hearts, and we'll talk about them later. So when we exile Ram from our hearts, we fail to see him, we fail to recognize him, we fail to see him in our day-to-day activities. Actually, Kunti Maharani, she prays to Krishna, and she says, Maya hi javani kachanam agya adhokshajam avyayam nadrishya se murdrisha nata natyo rathodhara. So she says that, when Maya has got control of you, gets control of the living entity, then the living entity is not able to recognize Krishna, or not able to recognize the Lord. Right? And just as, and she gives a very nice example, that if there is a play going on, then people might be a person who is not intelligent might watch the play but not recognize the original players, like a nato natyo dharo yatha. So when people are playing, they are in a disguise, so you're not able to recognize the disguise. And forget about the Lord in the heart, who is always talking to us from within the heart. We also know that during the Mahabharata times, when Krishna was here, a lot of people saw Krishna in front of their eyes, but they did not recognize him. The Pandavas recognized him, some few other people recognized him, but Duryodhana did not recognize him. Bhishma Pitama recognized him. So there is a curtain of Maya that falls on you because of that, because of banishing Ram from your heart. And then because we have banished Ram from our hearts, then we cannot see the other things that are lying in our hearts. Because wherever Krishna is, there is light, and wherever he is not there, then there is darkness. And you need light to be able to see things. Okay? So just like a blind man, we are not able to see what lives inside our heart. So if you're not focusing on Krishna, what else are the things that you think lie in our heart? What else would one find in the heart of a person who has banished Krishna or Ram from their hearts? Anarthas, yes, very good. Can you take a microphone and give me some examples of anarthas?
Yeah, anarthas. So there's all sorts of dirt in our heart. Greed, lust, anger. Every single unwanted bad quality is there. In varying degrees.
In various degrees, and we don't see that. And we don't see that. It comes so naturally to us. Because this lust, anger, and greed has been with us for many, many millions of births that we have taken. So it's kind of become a second nature for us to not even see that. Okay? And lust, anger, and greed, as you very rightly mentioned, are actually gateways to hell. They take you to hell. And actually, of the lust, anger, and greed, which one do you think is the most common anartha? Is it lust or anger or greed? Lust, one would think lust. Huh? Actually, I also used to think that it is lust, and which is desires. But Vrindavan Priya Prabhu took a wonderful class on Vedic cosmology this Saturday, where he was defining the hellish planets. And so he said that if you count the number of hellish planets that are there, And so these hellish planets are actually designated. No, today's Diwali, I'm talking about hellish planets, but anyway. So these hellish planets are each one of them will cater to a particular anartha that you have. So it'll rectify a particular anartha once you reach there. So the number of hellish planets that handle anger is actually the largest in number. Really? Yeah, I was also very surprised. I was very surprised by that, yeah. And then lust and then greed, yeah. Can you ask the question on the microphone, because people online won't be able to hear you?
Did Krishna say to Arjuna that lust is what drives this world, the material world?
Yes, lust drives the material world. It's lust only, Arjuna. He says that, yeah.
And then people get angry when their lust desires are not fulfilled,
Yes.
and then they get angry about it. Right?
Yes. It drives that, but there is more anger than lust. Because one lust will lead to a lot of anger, like that, number-wise, yeah. And different types of anger that you can get. So, we need to cleanse then. We need to cleanse our heart. Right? We need to cleanse our heart. So, from the Shikshastakam, I picked up the first verse of Shikshastakam, which we recite regularly, and which is also listed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila in the 20th chapter, verse number 12. So, we can all sing it together. I'll just give you the tune and maybe you can join me. Cheto darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreya kerava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam Purnamrita swadanam Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So the translation for that is, does anybody want to read it while I get a sip of water?
Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step.
All right. So questions. Thank you so much, Mukharinda Prabhu. So first question. So what detergent you will use to cleanse your heart?
The Maha Mantra.
If you don't speak on the phone, you don't get any marks. The Maha Mantra. Yes. So you'll chant the holy names of Lord Krishna. Right? And then what are the effects of doing that? What do you get from doing that? You can look at the words, the translation. What are the things that you get?
Cleanse the heart and it becomes clear like a mirror.
Okay, you cleanse the heart so that it's shining like a mirror. Okay, what else do you get from chanting? Is that all?
To stop the miseries of blazing fire of material existence.
So stop the miseries of material existence. Can you give me an example of a misery?
The birth, death, old age, and disease.
And disease. Birth, death, old age, and disease. The miseries of life, right? Okay, what else do you get?
You get association with Krishna.
You get association with Krishna, okay? And then, what else?
Get all education.
You get good education. What else do you get? There's a lot there in the words. Yeah, and she'll use the microphone. Don't be shy. We won't take away.
So the last line says it gives a cooling effect to everyone.
Yeah, it gives a cooling effect. So how about that? Holy name is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And do you get any fortune?
Yeah.
You get the good fortune as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we worship Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, on Diwali. Here's another way to get good fortune. Chant the holy names of the Lord. Right? You were trying to say something?
No, I was just remembering, there's one Mirabai's bhajan. He says that, Ram Ratan Dan Payo, right? So,
yes, very good. Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. So when you get the holy name, there's nothing more fortunate and more precious than that. Yes, there you go. Okay. So we have a very nice pastime that we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does Gundicha Marjanam. And so he is cleaning a temple. And when he's cleaning the temple, it's very nicely described how the cleansing happens. So it's first he and the devotees with him, they all gather together and they start sweeping the temple. And they get big pieces of twigs. There's a lot of dust that is gathered, so then they all sweep it out. And then they bring some water and then they wash it. So when they start washing it, then tiny pieces of straw and tiny pebbles and a little bit of dust which was there in the corners, that also starts coming out. And then they bring some more water and then it starts coming out as well. So similar is the way how cleansing of the heart also happens. So there are some anarthas which are very visible to us. We know about that this is a bad habit, this is a bad thing that I do, and it'll come out, it'll go away. We are cognizant of that. But then there are so many anarthas that we don't even know about, because we never faced a situation where that anartha will raise its ugly head. So we have to be careful all the time and keep cleansing the mirror of our heart all the time. Otherwise, some dust will settle. There's some subtle dust already there that we don't know about. So keep on cleansing it, keep on cleansing it. And one of the things about washing anything, and especially washing a room with water, is that where will all the water with the dirt go away? Right? That water will go out. And then if you walk back into the room, crossing all that water, then you will dirty the room again. So that's also very important, that after you cleanse the room or after you cleanse your heart, then you have to make sure who you are associating with. Your association has to be absolutely pure. Otherwise, the dirt will start coming in again, back into it. So, padam padam yad vipadam natesham. That's how it is in the material world. I remember I used to live in New Delhi. I mean, India is known for being as a country of heat and dust, but the Delhi dust, is tops. Nothing can beat the Delhi dust. And I used to go crazy, cleaning my house and then dusting it. And I had tried so many types of dusters and so many types of solutions, and I would clean the screen of my computer, go wash my hands, and by the time I would come back, there would be a layer of dust again over there. And that's the same thing with our hearts as well, because of the environment, because of the material environment in which we are living here, that we have to be careful of that when we clean it. So then, another thing that you said, that we light lamps. Yeah, this Mataji mentioned. What's your name? Sorry? Carolina? Oh, that's a beautiful name. So Carolina said that we light lamps to illuminate. Okay. So I remember a story that my dad used to tell about lighting the lamps. And of course, in India, majorly, Diwali is known as a place where you worship God, is a festival when you worship Goddess Lakshmi, because you want some money and some good fortune. So people do that. So he used to tell me a story of a man who was poor, but he was a devotee of the Lord, and he needed some money. But he was hesitant to ask the Lord about it. He never used to ask, but he used to worship the Lord and do his usual thing. And he used to work in the home of a very rich man. And the rich man was rich because of pious credits accumulated from his previous birth, but he was not that much into, spiritualism or things like that. So of course, when the Diwali day came, the rich man, completely illuminated his house with lots of lamps and candles and whatnot, decorated it beautifully, because he wanted the goddess Lakshmi to come. And so he was guiding her by lighting all the things. And this old man used to live in the outhouse, and he didn't have even a little oil to light a single lamp in his home, so he just left it in the darkness. And so in the night, midnight, when Lakshmi was coming, then she was going to the rich man's place because it was all lighted up, but she stumbled in front of the poor man's place because there was stone there, and because it was all dark, she didn't know, and she stumbled and she went inside the poor man's home. So, what does it show? Right? So that is so much so is the efficacy of just lighting a lamp for bringing the Lakshmi into your home. What we should actually be trying to eliminate is the whole world. And that elimination is something that Srila Prabhupada did when he came to USA at the old age of 69. and to spread Krishna consciousness to the entire world. He started with America, and then for the rest 14 years of his life, Prabhupada circumambulated the entire globe about 12 times, setting up about 100 temples all over the world, translating about 200 books into English language, having 5,000 plus devotees, and setting up, he actually converted hippies. I mean, people would used to ask, like, what animal is a hippie? So they were not even labeled and put into the category of a human being. And Prabhupada converted them into devotees, pure devotees of the Lord. So that's the kind of illumination we are looking at. So on this wonderful occasion of Diwali, let us give a round of applause to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki! Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Then we dress up for the occasion of Diwali, right? So people start buying jewelry, right? There's Dhanteras is a little festival that happens before Diwali. People go buy jewelry, they'll buy nice saris, they'll buy nice dresses, and kids like the new dresses, and they get dresses. Right? But one thing we have to remember is that all that is outer beauty. So and this nice quote says that, outer beauty attracts, but inner beauty actually captivates you. Completely captivates you. So we should be focusing on inner beauty and developing our inner beauty. Okay? So look at this inner beauty. This little caterpillar. It's ugly, right? Caterpillars are ugly, they're hairy and they wiggle. But inside the caterpillar, what is there inside the caterpillar? There's a beautiful butterfly. So that's the inner beauty we are talking about. And the good news is that inside of us, inside this body, is the soul, which is very beautiful. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna that, some see this soul as amazing, some describe this soul as amazing, and some, even after seeing this, do not understand the soul. So that's how the soul is. And that's because it's beautiful inside. So another one which I liked was that beauty isn't about having a pretty face. It's about having a pretty mind, a pretty heart, and most importantly, a beautiful soul. So the soul is beautiful, but the problem is that it is covered all over with the dust of false identification that I am this body. So when it comes to dressing up, right? So we have to dress up, and now we know the real meaning of dressing up. We are saying that, fine, externals doesn't matter, whatever it is, but internals really matter. So you have to dress up inside out, so to speak. The insides have to be dressed up, and the outside, it doesn't matter. Actually, one of the verses in Nectar of Instruction says that just as the waters of the Ganges, during the rainy season, they become full of bubbles, and they become very muddy and look very dirty. But those who are knowledgeable, they know that the Ganges is still pure, and they go and still dive into the Ganges water. Similarly, when we are looking at devotees, we never look at the externals, we always look at the internals. And we never come to see a devotee, we actually come to hear the devotee and what he's going to say there, right? So when it comes to dressing up, most of us would dress up external, and the reason for that is we dress to please, If we feel happy, I've got a new sari, I've got some new dress, I'm looking so beautiful, and so on and so forth. So this is a nice little verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I just brought up over here. It says, Atmendriya priti vancha tare bali kama, Krishnendriya priti icha dhare prema nama. So what we are saying is that we have got this tendency to enjoy, and this tendency to look beautiful externally is because I want to be the enjoyer. I want to enjoy everything. And so that's why I do various kinds of things to think that I'm enjoying here. Right? But this process of trying to satisfy our senses is never going to end, because senses are like a fire. And when you try to satisfy the senses with anything that you do, eat something nice or drink something nice or put on something nice or see something nice like that materially, then all that you're doing is adding a little ghee into the fire. And you can keep on adding little spoonfuls of ghee into the fire. The fire will never be extinguished. And that is the property of our mind as well. That, whenever you get anything, it wants some more. Like if I were to tell you that, you just won $1 million lottery today, you'll immediately start thinking what you're going to do. And within 10 seconds, the $1 million will be spent. Right? And then you will say, dang, I should have won $2 million. 1 million is not enough. That's the nature of mind. It expands all the time. So similarly, when you try to satisfy our senses, we are never going to be satisfied. Atmendriya priti. Indriya is senses. So if you try to have love for satisfying your own senses, it's not going to take you anywhere. So our love should be, our priti should be for satisfying the senses of Krishna. So if you're dressing nicely and you have come to the temple, dressed up very nicely, then the idea should not be that all the congregation members should come and say, oh, you're looking very beautiful, you've got beautiful jewelry, where did you buy it, how much is this, and things like that. You are dressing and coming to the temple because Krishna, you're presenting yourself to Krishna, and Krishna will be pleased to see you dress nicely. So that's the kind of, the modus of operandi in which we do our carry out our activities. So this verse says that the desire to satisfy one's own senses is kama or lust, which was listed by Prabhuji as one of the gates to hell. And the desire to please the senses of Krishna is actually prema. So that this true prema. And when we sit down to chant our rounds, every morning we do the 10 offenses, and then in the end we just say that, vanchakalpatrubhyasa, we say, we offer our obeisances to all the devotees, and we say they are desire fulfilling tree, and they will help us get our ultimate goal in life, which is Krishna prema. Right? So try to start doing actions to please the senses of Krishna, and that is what real and true Krishna prema is. So from the typical Diwali celebrations, we have talked about cleaning the house. So which is the house? Which is your Ayodhya? Your heart is the Ayodhya. And we light our lamps. So when you light our lamps, who will you try to light? How far should the lights go? The whole world. Very good, right? And then you will dress up to please Krishna, right? Then what we also do is that we exchange gifts on Diwali. And when I grew up in India, people used to exchange gifts, but it used to be a pretty simple thing. But I've noticed that with now, things have become more spruced up. I remember my mom used to cook something, and I used to keep it in a plate and go to the neighbor and give it to them, or people would come to our home and, we'd exchange gifts like that. But now you go to the market and all kinds of fancy packages and wrappings and all kinds of things are there. The other day, I grew up, eating barfi, and on the barfi they used to have work, which is, a little layer of silver used to be there. And that's all I know about the works. But recently I came to know that now they are selling barfi, which has got work made of gold. And that goes for, 7,000, for 100 grams or something like that. So it's an amazing amount of money. But people do exchange that as gifts. And they don't even offer to Krishna. They just hog it all. So that's the type of exchange of gifts that is happening. So better than going and buying these barfis or laddus from a shop, which has been, which is just doing business, selling that and using that, what we should actually do is that distribute transcendental knowledge, because that is the best gift that you can give to anybody. The barfis, they will eat, they will digest, and they will evacuate. It'll be gone. That pleasure is momentary and doesn't have any benefits other than satisfying the hunger a little while, and might have some harm effects in the long run if you have too much of barfi on that day. So rather than that, we should try to give transcendental knowledge. So when Krishna had left the world, at that time, there were some sages who were getting worried that what's going to happen to this world now that Krishna has gone, because he's the emblem of knowledge and he's the emblem of religiosity. So they were sat down and they were doing some big yagya, like how Vaisheshika Prabhu calls that as a 1,000-year seminar. And they asked the leader of the congregation who was doing that, they asked the man who was sitting on the Vyasasana 6 questions. And the 6th question over there was, they were asking, what are the essence of the scriptures? Tell us about pastimes of Krishna and so on and so forth. But the 6th question they asked was that, now that Krishna has gone, where do all the religiosity and where does all the knowledge go? How are we going to live without knowledge? Right? So when they are talking about knowledge, we are not talking about mundane knowledge. There's plenty of mundane knowledge around here. There's internet is full of that. You want to know anything, you just have to go to Google and query, and you know the answer. Right? In my days, I had to go to the library, open the page, read the pages, and read several books before I could get an answer to my question. Or sometimes I never got an answer to the question. But nowadays, you just have to Google it and you'll get it. Right? But that's not the kind of knowledge that we're talking about. We're talking about transcendental knowledge. Knowledge which, the Aryan people are famous for. The knowledge that there is a soul. And that we are not the body. That kind of knowledge we are talking about. So they're saying that, with Krishna, all that will go away. Where will it go? So then Sutta Goswami, who's heading the meeting there, he says to the Brahmins of the Naimisharanya, he says that Krishne swadam upagate dharma jnanadi bhisaha kalo drishta nishamesha punararko dhunoditaha. So he says that now that Krishna has gone back to his own dham, back to Golok Vrindavan, with him, dharma and gyan have also gone back with him. Right? And then, in this age of Kali Yuga, Kalau, Nashta Drisham means eyesight is gone. Your eyesight is not there. You can't see. Paschyan api na paschyati. You're seeing it, but still you don't see it. Or you see it, but you refuse to accept it. Right? Paschyan api na paschyati. So for them, what has happened is that Puran Arko Adhunodita. In this modern times, the sun of Srimad Bhagavatam has arisen. So the book Srimad Bhagavatam, which has got everything about Krishna, his creation and everything, his pastimes, his devotees. So they are the ones. So rather than gifting anybody a barfi, this is what you should gift. The Srimad Bhagavatam, a beautiful set of 18 books. And does it not look like a box of sweets, by the way? It looks very much like it. It's beautiful, isn't it? And has only good effects, no bad effects, no sugar, no cholesterol, no nothing like that. Right? So that's the best gift that you can give. So if you decide today that you're going to give a Bhagavatam to somebody, then see me after the class. You will see how we can make it happen. So on to the typical Diwali celebrations. Anshu had said burst crackers. So let's just do that, burst crackers. So about bursting crackers, when I came to USA, a few months after I came to California, I witnessed the 14th of July celebrations. They are done in Foster City, and they were beautiful, and they were very well contained. And somebody else was lighting the crackers. Somebody else was doing it. I was not doing it. I was safe and sound, and I was very impressed to see that there was an ambulance, there was a fire brigade, and there was a police van there as well. I was like, okay, I'm completely safe. Nothing's going to happen. Because I am very scared of crackers. I used to be very, very scared of them. The only thing that I would light would be a sparkler. Just tiny sparkler like that. Or there used to be some tablets, and if you showed a matchstick to it, then it would, there would be effervescence, and a snake would come out of it, and that's all I would do, right? But there were other things that, like atom bombs and things like that my brother was very fond of, and when you are 3 and your brother is 8, there's not much intelligence going on over there, and so he would just go and light an atom bomb right behind me. So you can imagine, how scared I used to be. How scared. And I used to shout, and I used to be literally, I used to jump out of my skin, literally, by that. And till my mom actually prohibited my brother from doing that. And he said that she has a very faint heart. Don't do that, she will die from that noise over there. So if you're thinking of bursting crackers, right, either come to USA and just witness the 4th of July, it's safe. Otherwise, check it out whether your heart is strong or you have a weak heart. Right? So my mom was worried about my weak heart and the fact that I might have a heart attack and I might die, and she might lose her child. But I'm talking about a very different kind of weakness over here of the heart, and which is talked about in Bhagavad Gita 15:20, verse in the purport Prabhupada talks about there are 2 weaknesses of the heart. The first weakness of the heart is a desire to lord it over the material nature, attachment to matter, and the possession of matter. And actually, when in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjun is kind of chickening out and he says that, I don't want to fight the war, and he gives a very long justification of why he should not fight the war. He talks from the angle of compassion. He talks from the angle of projects being left around, and how can you relationships and so on and so forth, society, social norms, everything. He gives all kinds of examples as to why he should not fight, and then he goes. He keeps aside his famous bow and arrow, the Gandiva, and goes to the back of the chariot, and he says, and falls silent. So for whole of one chapter, it's just Arjuna talking. And then when Krishna speaks in the second chapter, he says, Kutashva kashmalam idam vishamesham upastitam anarajistam asargam akirtikaram Arjuna. He says, from where has all this dirt come into you? So all these kind of things that he was talking about, Krishna was classifying this as dust. Shudram hirdaya dorbalyam takt uttishta parantapa. Klyabhyam masma gama parta na eta tvai upapatyade. Shudram hirdaya dorbalyam takt uttishta parantapa. So he says that this weakness of this heart, don't be an impotent. And he's calling a Kshatriya as an impotent. That's too much for a Kshatriya. So he does that so that he can, bring Arjuna out of the stupor into which he has fallen. So he says that Shudram Hirdaya Dorbalyam. So he says this is petty weakness of the heart. Because why? Because Arjun was also talking about his desire to lord over the material nature. Because he was saying that Kinno Bhogan Rajanya, that after even if I win this war, how will I enjoy the spoils of the war? With whom will I enjoy the spoils of the war? Because all my relatives will be dead. So when you get something nice, you want to enjoy it and show it off to your friends and neighbors and relatives. So that desire to lord it over the nature is there, that I want to be the controller. And then, so with that desire to lord it over the nature, then you will get attached to it. Because you'll be contemplating on it and you'll get attached to it. And attaching to something is fine. Like you can be, you can contemplate on a car, and you can be contemplating on your neighbor's car or on your friend's car. And then you can enjoy your friend's car as well. Your friends might own a Ferrari or, some nice car and might give you rides on that. So you are enjoying it and you might like that car. So you are attached to it. But then after some time, what happens is that you want to now possess that car. So that's another weakness of the heart, that you get attached to the matter and the possession of the matter as well. And then Krishna says in 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita that asanga shastrena dhirnena chitva. That's through the weapon of detachment. So for the weapon of detachment, you have to get over this weakness of the heart. But the thing is that, from where will I get the weapon? Detachment, it is such a difficult thing. If you have attachment, it's very, very difficult to detach. And actually that is the reason that death is so painful for us. Otherwise, what is there? Utkramantam sitam vapi bhunjanam ya gunanvitam. Utrakramantam means that, you're just stepping out of the body. That is death. What is so difficult? Don't we step out of the room every day? We step out of the elevator, we step out of the car, we step out of the door. Why is it so difficult to step out of this body? What is it that is tying me to the body? All the attachments that are there, that is making us there, attached to it. Okay, so how do I get over these attachments? Somebody has to tell me. Somebody has to help me, right? So we have to cry and say, help me, I need help. And how do you cry? Ask for help. How do you do that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was not good enough for a Diwali. Give me like a cracker type, atom bomb type of Hare Krishna. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, that was good. Yeah, that was a Diwali cracker. Atom bomb, 6 inches. He used to threaten me that he would burn a 12 inches cracker behind me. Atom bomb behind me. He never got to it, but though. So eliminating the heart. Right? So we need to eliminate the heart, which has got all these dust and which is weak, and we will give it some energy. So give it some light energy. Like, how when a child is born premature, like my daughter was born premature, so they used to put her under lights. So, so similarly, we need some light to be there. And so we'll go to the source of all light, which is Krishna. So Krishna here in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and this is one of the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, the 4 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, which are the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and where it says, Tesham evanukampartha aham agyanajam tama nashyami asma bhavosto jnanadipena bhashata. So bhashvata. So what Krishna does is that as a special mercy, as a first special mercy to the stupid soul who's so caught up in entanglements and desires and things like that. As a special mercy to the soul, what he does is that he brings him out of the ajnana jam tamaha, from the darkness of ignorance. And what is the biggest ignorance? Biggest ignorance is not, so yeah, please belt it out on a microphone.
I am the body is the biggest ignorance.
I am the body is the biggest ignorance. Let's give him a round of applause for catching that one today. So aham ajnanajam tamas. So he will, as an act of mercy on you, he will pull you out of that darkness of ignorance, right? And how does he do that? How is he going to kill all that? Nashyami. How is he going to destroy all that? Atma bhavosto. He's situated in your heart, and he's situated in your heart as super soul, as you had mentioned. So as the super soul in your heart, he is going to destroy all the darkness by giving you the knowledge that you need. Jnana dipena, with the deepa, with the lamp of knowledge. So the real lamp that you should be lighting on Diwali is the lamp of knowledge, right? And that Krishna will do that to you. And the verse prior to that is Tesham satata yukta nam bhajitam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upiyanti te. So he's saying that those who worship me with love and affection, I will give them the intelligence so that they will come to me. But even if you don't do that, now to come to him, you have to go, how will you come to him? You have to go to a society like ISKCON and, reach out to devotees, start coming to a temple and go and do that, right? Or take initiation from a spiritual master, and that's how you'll get some knowledge. But then he's saying that, if you're not even that, if you're not even doing that, then as a special mercy to you, Tesham eva anukampa is mercy. As a special act of mercy for you, I will do it for you. That's why Krishna is your Chet Guru. He will do it from inside the heart. He'll eliminate it and give you the strength that is required, just as you give light to a premature baby. There. And there is a nice story in the Srimad Bhagavatam about how Krishna takes care. In Bhagavad Gita, he declares, he says, Kanteya pratijanehi name bhaktya pranashyati. I take care of my devotees. Right? And he also says that I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Right? So this is a story of King Bharat. About after him, we have the name Bharat, Varsha. And he was a very powerful king, very nice king. He had a beautiful wife, beautiful children, and a wonderful kingdom. But he gave up all that because he was a devotee of the Lord. He gave up all that and then went into the forest and used to meditate on the Lord. And his idea was that I should go back to Godhead. And then in the forest one day, what happened was that as he was meditating, there was a lion in the forest, and the lion roared. And because of when the lion roars, all the animals in the forest, they flee from one place to another because everybody's thinking now he's going to eat me, because that's the biggest fear all animals have. So because of the roaring of the lion, there was a female deer, a doe, and she was carrying a baby, and she started running. And to get away from the lion, there was a little stream of water, and she jumped over the stream to the other side. And in that process, like when you're pregnant, you don't do these kind of gymnastics. So in that process, in this trauma, she goes to the other side and she delivers. She hides in a cave, but there she's so exhausted by this act of jumping and running and being afraid of the lion that she goes to a cave. She delivers, miscarries the child, and she dies in the process. Now, this King Bharat is looking at all that, and now he thinks that who's going to take care of this little deer? And he's the king. He has been the controller. So he's gotten into the habit of controlling and getting things done. So, and when you're the king, you take care of everybody in your kingdom. So he still was attached in some sort of way to his previous role of being a king. So he brings the deer to his place. to his ashram, and he starts taking care of the deer. And you know how these deers are beautiful, does are even more beautiful, and then a little deer is the most beautiful thing. How they jump, you should watch the leg work and things like that. They're very, very beautiful, very captivating to the heart. And that's exactly what happened to Maharaj Bharat. So much so that at the time of his death, he was thinking about the deer. Because the deer had not returned home, and he was thinking that some lion has eaten him. He was worried about that. And so he thought of the deer. And Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajyat ante kalevram tam tam evati kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever you think at the time of death, that's what you will become. And guess what? He became a deer in his next life. But then, Tesham evanukam partham aham ajnanajam tama. So then Krishna from within made sure that he did not forget his previous life. Otherwise, utkramantam sitham vapi bhunjanam ya guranvitam. Stepping inside a body or stepping outside of the body. So stepping outside of the body is death, and stepping inside the body is birth, what is called as birth. And when you step inside a new body, you forget everything about the old body. In most of the cases, you forget everything about the past life. And Krishna in his wisdom does that to us, but that's a topic for some other day. So he would have normally also forgotten the mistake that he had done in his previous life of being too much attached to the deer, so much so that his devotional service was getting hindered. And instead of that, what he did was he got attached to the deer and thought of the deer, was born as a deer, but Krishna retained his memory. So there is a verse from the 15th chapter, very powerful chapter, and it says, Sarvasya chaham hidhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarve rahamev vedyo vedanta kritved videv chaham. So he says that Sarvasya chaham hidhi sannivishto. So that you all agree that he lives in our heart, right? And from me come remembrance and forgetfulness. So the remembrance that Raja Bharat had, King Bharat had, was granted by the Lord in his heart. And so he knew his mistakes. So what he did was he refused to drink the milk of his mother and starved himself to death. And he went back to the same ashram where he used to perform his duties. And in the next birth, he is born again as Bharat, with the name Bharat, but he is called Jar Bharat, because this time he says no entanglements, no showing off that I am superior, I am controller, nothing like that. It's better, to be thought of by other people as stupid and, not intelligence and dull and, good for nothing and things like that. And let me be just like that. However, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we also hear about that, the amazing, amazing teachings that he gives to King Rahugana. And if you're interested in that, you can read. It's in the 5th canto, 14th chapter. Amazing. It's going to shake you after you read that, how powerful this material energy is. And by the way, during the month of Kartik, His Holiness Keshav Bharati Goswami Maharaj and Vaisheshika Prabhu, they are both reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, sitting in the Govardhan Dham, and they broadcast that on the Facebook page. And it's recorded, also available on YouTube and SoundCloud and whatnot, different pages there. And I heard this from the recording that they did, and it's really amazing. And that 5th chapter, now they're doing 7th chapter, which is even more powerful there. So Krishna will do that, as Krishna did it for Jad Bharat. So all the knowledge that he had, wonderful knowledge, he transmitted that to King Rahugana. So then what we do is we also eat a lot. On Diwali, we invite people over, we eat, and everything is like, oh yeah, I have overeaten, I've eaten twice, and things like that. So, so what should you eat? Should we stop eating? Kumari Leela doesn't like it. So what should we do? Eat prasadam? Yeah. But those who are online won't know the solution. So you have to give it to me on a microphone. Now Smaran Prabhu is going to tell us something? Okay.
Eat prasadam.
Kamal Shri Mataji says you should eat prasadam. And by the way, I have to tell you that Kamal Shri Mataji is a wonderful cook. And I've seen her at the Sadhu Sangha where she cooks the whole day for her spiritual master, Indudum Swami Maharaj, and all the exalted devotees who might just come and knock at the door, and she's preparing food from early morning, 6 o'clock. She misses most of the kirtan there, and she's just focused on making sure that people get wholesome prasadam. Amazing. There. So all that you have to do, that yuktahara viharascha. So eat prasadam, but there also you should maintain a balance. So look at the nice way. I'm just wondering, how did he go there? How did he reach that place? That, maintaining the balance on that small little log that is in the water. But anyway, animals have got instincts to maintain that balance there. Then some people do gamble. I'm hope that nobody in this room does gamble there. And we know, paschan apina paschati, people do gamble. Right? And that you tell them to read Bhagavatam, and they'll say, no, I don't read Bhagavatam, I like Mahabharata. I'm going to read Mahabharata. Okay. But what is there in Mahabharata? The biggest, yeah? So you come to know about the bad effects of gambling from Mahabharata. So what are you reading in Mahabharata if you have not learned that you should not gamble in the Mahabharata, from the Mahabharata, right? So what is gambling? Well, the gambling is the activity or practice of playing at a game of chance, right? So you know that you bet some money, and then you throw some dices, and dice is a chance. You never know, but there are 1 is going to come or a 6 is going to come. There's a 1/6 chance of you getting 6. And then if you throw 2 dices together, then it becomes 1/36, like that, right? We all did permutation, combinations, probability in our mathematics. I hated that. But anyway, so the game of dice, it's a game of chance. Gambling is a game of chance. So there is no knowledge that is applied, there's no groundwork that is done, there's no background study that is done. You're just saying like, okay, fine, let me just do this. Okay, fine, let me just pull a card. And if it's an ace, my money is doubled. Double or nothing, right? That's what we want to do, double or nothing. And we take that risk. So it is an act or practice of risking the loss of something. Just because of investing in chance and doing it like that. So coming to taking risk, let's see what we have. People gamble for money. There are other kinds of gambles also people do. They gamble away their careers, join another job or, take early retirement and things like that. So people do gamble all the time in different ways. Most of the times people do gamble for money, but what is it that what will money get you anyways? What do you get from money? People think that money is going to bring you happiness, but does money really bring you happiness? No, right? In the beginning, it might ease some of the distress, bring you to a level of 0, little money, but it doesn't do that. So why gamble? Why is this thing? We're wanting to get money and money and money and money, right? And Kunti Maharani actually says, Janm Aishwarya Srutasi Bhir Edemana Madhapuna Neva Arti Abhibhatum Ve Tam Akinchana Gocharam. So she's saying that people are looking for certain things. And she's listing them, and I will list them here again for you. And what she's saying is that people look for Janma. Janm is high birth, a high parentage. Get born in the family of United States of America so that you get to marry in the White House, like that. So you want Janma Aishwarya, you want opulence, right? Shruti, Shribhir, you want to be famous. You want Shri, you want beauty, right? So she's saying that people in generally want that. But if a person has got all this, then he will not be thinking about Krishna in a very serious manner. Neva harati abhijatum mein tam akinchana gochara. She says that only when you are materially exhausted, that's the word she's using, materially exhausted, is when real Krishna bhajan will happen. Right? So that is the kind of risk that we are saying. That why don't you surrender to Krishna? Surrender to Krishna. Take that risk. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter verse 66, Sarv dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshiyasyami masuchaha. So he says, surrender. Abandon all varieties of religion, and surrender unto me. But surrender is the most difficult thing to do. That's the most difficult part. Like Krishna, you're asking most difficult thing. You are crooked. You know I can't do it. You stand crooked. Look at him on the altar, right? Threefold bending form. So how do I handle that? Right? I need something lighter. I'm not able to surrender completely to Krishna. I still have attachments. I still have my anarthas. What do I do? I've realized I'm in this situation, but what do I do? Right? So we have a solution that in order for you to surrender to Krishna, you need love of Krishna first. And here is the solution. You'll get love of Krishna from worshipping the one next to Krishna over there on the altar, and that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. So here it is saying that Vadanyaya, that you are the most munificent incarnation and you are Krishna himself. And you appear here as Krishna Chaitanya. And you are Gauratushe Namaha. So Lord Chaitanya is actually Krishna and Radha combined. And when you worship and pray to Lord Chaitanya, then he is so munificent that no matter how bad or how fallen you are, you will get Krishna Prem, as Jagai and Madai, who were originally Brahmins, but they had taken to debauchery, to murder, to stealing, to all kinds of things. They became devotees of the Lord by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So we are not Jagai Madai, or if there is a Jagai Madai in our heart, then Lord Krishna can eradicate, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can get rid of that for us. Now, we talked about weakness of the heart, right? There were two weaknesses of the heart, right? The first one was that the tendency to enjoy, and then the second was to be attached to it and then possess matter. So those were the two. We are so attached to matter, right? Because of the false ego that we think that we are the body. But then, weakness of the heart, there's some good news. If you're thinking that, what do I do? Now I'm captivated in this material body. I have done so many things in the past. I'll continue to do bad things in the future as well. Okay? But then in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, which is all about devotional service, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, he says that this love of God is now in a dormant state in everyone's heart. And there, love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now the heart has to be purified of material association, and that dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. So it's not that something that you will achieve. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, sadhya kabhi na hai. It's not something that you will achieve. Sadhya is a goal. It's not that the Krishna Prema is a goal that you don't have now and then you will achieve it at certain point. You already have it. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kariya Uday. So if you just do Shravan and Kirtanam, right? Glorify the Lord and listen to His glories, then it will automatically come out. It will manifest itself. It's already there. Krishna Prema is already there for us. Okay, we just have to take it. So Shravanadi Kritya Tiche, we have to do that. And how do I do that? So going back to when we started with, we start the Diwali by cleansing things. So how do we cleanse things? We start cleaning ourselves, bring out the vacuum cleaner, bring out the brooms, the sticks, the mop, the cleansers, the water, whatever you need to bring, the sponges, you bring all of them, and you start cleaning it. But when things get really dirty, right, then you can't clean it by yourself. Then you have to bring in the professionals, right? You need help. Okay? So because we are blind, we can't see all the dust which is there. We are blind, we can't see that. And if you notice, I have a picture of a blind person over there on the left-hand side. And did you notice that blind men and women, most of the time you see them wearing sunglasses? And I used to think that, why do they wear sunglasses? I think they don't want people to know that they are blind. And that's why they are wearing sunglasses. So there are several reasons why people wear sunglasses. One of them is that people who are blind have to be doubly protected from ultraviolet rays. So they put on sunglasses for that. They also put on sunglasses so that it's like a covering to their eyes. So that, because if I'm walking on the street and if something is coming flying at me, I will duck. But a blind man doesn't know how to duck. He gets no indication that he has to duck. So at least there's a covering in front of his eye so that if a small pebble is, comes up at him, then his eyes are still protected and he won't get hurt there. And the third reason they would wear these glasses is to let others know that, hey, there's a blind man coming your way. so that others can be careful. So if you are blind, then you have to declare that you are blind. Don't hide it under the carpet. Come out and say that I need help. And when you come out and say I need help, then Jnanina Tattvadarshina. Those who are knowledgeable will give you. But then how will they give you and why will they give you? How will you get knowledge from a knowledgeable person? What do you have to do to get it from them?
Render service
Regular.
submissively.
Render service submissively. Tadvidhi paripatena, pariprashnena sevaya, upadeshyanti te jnanam, jnanina tattvadarshina. Right? So tadvidhi, if you want to get that transcendental knowledge, then you have to do seva. Okay? So you get in the professionals, get in a guru, right? Find a spiritual master, and then of course, get others, the sadhus, and then the shastras. So get all of them and consult with all of them, because they are the ones who will show you the right connection, the right things to eliminate, the right connection that you have. You have no connection absolutely with this material body. You have nothing to do with it, but you have a connection with Krishna, and they will help you revive that connection with Krishna and show you the way back to Godhead. So typical gambling done, then at midnight you worship Goddess Lakshmi so that you get some opulence. That's what most of the people do. I'm not saying that you do it. But where is Lakshmi? See, where is she situated? On the lotus feet, at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and she's massaging his feet. So, don't bark up the wrong tree. Because if you worship Vishnu, Lakshmi will automatically come to you. So on Diwali, your focus should not be on worshipping Goddess Lakshmi and making sure that you have 1,000 lamps so that she finds the way to your home and doesn't stumble into the poor man's home like that. She will come by default because Lakshmi is a very chaste wife. She doesn't leave her husband and go away anywhere. So we should be thinking and we should be worshipping. And how often? The frequency? 24/7, not midnight on Diwali. You have to do it 24/7. And then, why 24/7? Shrinvanti gayanti grinanti abhikshan saha smrananti nandanti tavehita janaha taveva paschyanti achirena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam. So what does it say? That those who do shrinvanti, they listen, they hear, gayanti, they glorify, and then grinanti. What does grinanti mean? They accept. And abhikshan saha, always, continuously they do it. And smaranti, they remember him. Nandanti, they appreciate others who are doing it. So even if you can't do it, but you appreciate others who are doing it, then they will very quickly, paschyanti, they will very quickly see your lotus feet, O Lord. And this is again Queen Kunti saying that because your lotus feet are the only source that will help us get over and cross this ocean of material miseries there. So wishing you all a very, very happy Diwali, to be celebrated in a new light and in a new mood over here. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. And we have a few minutes, maybe for Sudhir Madhaprabhu, for some reflections or questions that you have before we start the Damodar Ashtakam prayers. Oh, the Aarti. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the Aarti. Gaura Aarti. Any questions, anything, any takeaways that you like to mention and share with the rest of us?
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very enlightening. I have a question about attachment. So it's very clear to this point to myself what it's like to get away from attachment to material nature. But more specifically, attachment to relationships or other people, right? Family or friends, people that you're very connected with. And how do you unattach yourself from those aspects of material nature as well?
Very good question. It's a very good question. So most of us live in families, and if you're born, then you have a family. At least you have a mom. And so when we talk about this detachment, and how do we exhibit that detachment, right? So it's okay to be attached and show that to devotees. And actually, we still cry. When devotees leave, we cry a lot, because it's an opportunity missed now the devotee has gone. So we have attachment to devotees. It's okay to be attached to a devotee. But what if people are not devotees in your family? What do you do? Do you become rude to them? Do you stop talking to them because you are a devotee now? And the answer is no. Because it'll hurt them if you behave like that, and it'll only succeed in turning them away from Krishna. And that is not what our mission is. Our mission is to illuminate the whole world. Right? So how do we handle that? We are internally detached, but externally we are attached to them. So if you are, if a person is married, and the wife says that, I want this, take me to some national park, you will do that. And she says, I'm tired of cooking the whole day, I want some fun, take me to the park. You will go there to the park because you have some obligations of that particular ashram. But internally, no. Internally, you're just doing your duty. Internally, you're not looking forward to the second time you'll go to the park with her. That is detachment. You'll do that. And it comes with practice, and difficult practice, yeah. Welcome. You had a question? Shamrupa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the wonderful lecture. I really liked how you put the Diwali celebration. So what would be some of the things that we should meditate on or pray for on this day of Deepavali?
On this day of Deepavali, especially since we are in ISKCON, our highest prayer is always on distributing the knowledge and illuminating the whole world with knowledge. And especially since this is the December, we're all inching towards the December marathon. My prayer always is, and I'm just sharing it for you, is that, oh Krishna, please make me your instrument, that I share your transcendental knowledge that you gave to Arjuna, and that has come down to us through the wonderful disciplic succession with Prabhupada translating that into English for our benefit. Please make me an instrument so that I go and spread it to most of the world to the best of my capacity. That's what I pray for. And in that process, my anarthas will come in my way, and please help me overcome those anarthas as well. That's what I pray. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. What a beautiful presentation. So much efforts were invested, I could see. Earlier in the presentation, you mentioned lust, greed and anger. And I think Prabhuji also pointed out, and you mentioned that Krishna is telling to Arjuna, it is lust only which is the root cause of all evils. So you mentioned initially you also thought that lust is the primary of all the three, but then later from Vedic Cosmology seminar you mentioned anger. So I was still not able to fully reconcile, because if lust is the root, then how is anger ahead of lust?
Yeah, so let me clarify. I didn't say that lust is anger is primary. I was doing a number count, right, of the hellish planets. And when you're counting the hellish planets, I was saying that every hellish planet is geared up towards one sort of anartha. So there you will be given some punishments which will help you overcome an anartha. Right? So when you count the hellish planets, the count of hellish planets where you get chastised for being angry is much more. The count of those planets is much more than the number of planets where you are chastised for lust. Okay? So it just means that, you just do it more. You're angry more than the lust part of it. Or if you have got a lust for something, then you will be given some sort of a punishment, and there'll be some planets that will be handling that. And which is fine, X number, counting the numbers, they are sufficient to do that. But when it comes to anger, because lust leads to anger, and it will lead to anger many, many times. So one lusty desire will lead to anger many times, because whenever it is not fulfilled, you will be angry. And so many times a person will be angry, and so many times, for each of the times he's angry, he has to be punished there for one lust. So that way. But otherwise, lust is the root cause. The root cause of this is desire. We are here because of our desire. Yeah. Okay. Actually, somebody in one of my earlier classes had mentioned that, is it karma or is it desire that we suffer in this material world? And because of desire, we get this body. But then it still comes back to desire, because the karma is, why do you do anything, good or bad? It's because of the desire. So everything comes down to desire. It is desire only.
Thank you so much, Shradha Mataji, for so nicely connecting different verses from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Kunti Maharani's prayers. It made so special and connected. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, so we are coming close to the Aarti time, and if there are no more questions, then we will stop this class with a big Hari Bol. Give me a Hari Bol.